Well, as it's 2019, obviously there can only be one anime that's anime of the year, because it's the best anime ever. Of course, Demon Slayer is my anime of the year for 2019, because it's a masterpiece and no one can say anything bad about it. Okay, that's all. See you later, you can leave the video now, bye! Are the weebs gone? Okay. Demon Slayer sucks! Does it have amazing animation? Yes. Does it have amazing voice actor? Yes. Does it have amazing music? Sure, I'm willing to say that. But is the story interesting? No. And it doesn't matter how cinematic of a shot you shoot your story in, or how much you pay Hans Zimmer to do the music for your video, or how many A-list voice actors you have in the project. If the story is boring, the story is boring. This isn't to say you can't have a story with a boring concept that is interesting. Just look at Shaun of the Dead as the quintessential boring zombie film that is so well written, it is one of the best Edgar Wright movies. Or Color the Right Answer, an anime about negotiating and speaking in political meetings to discuss the terms and conditions of resource distribution. Wow, doesn't that sound interesting? Well, guess what? It is somehow. Do I actually think Demon Slayer sucks? No, not really. I don't care enough about the series to have an opinion on it. I've watched it, and it's fine. Demon Slayer is a perfectly okay junk food series. If you want something to stimulate your attention span, it will do that. But let's not pretend it's a Michelin star 4-course meal like so many people claim it is. I'm not going to say don't watch it. If you want to watch it, go right ahead. It's entertaining. It will tickle your brain. I'm not saying it won't. But if people ask what a masterpiece is, Demon Slayer is not a masterpiece. It is not a Michelin star 4-course meal. You know what is a Michelin star worthy meal though? The children of Gracefield Orphanage from the Promised Neverland. Or at least the demons think it is. My deli has been booming ever since I set up shop in the demon world, which makes sense. If you have an orphanage filled with the smartest children that demons need to eat in order to keep their intelligence, anywhere that supplies that meat will be successful. Unfortunately, after the children of Gracefield found out the truth of their purpose, they began hatching a plan to escape, which is what we see in the first and only season of the anime, where the kids must prepare their escape while never letting on that they know the truth of their fate.
From the moment that I discovered the truth, I started preparing.
Escape. You know, I wonder what it's really keeping us protected from.
About last night. Did you two go to the gate? They discovered the secret. I already have a good idea of who the targets are.
It looks so delicious. Human flesh is definitely the tastiest.
Good morning, everyone! Time to get up, or you'll miss breakfast!
The human flesh from this farm is the highest quality. Only the rich can afford it.
Now, let us appreciate that all 38 of you are able to live happy lives under this roof.
Someday, we'll have to leave here, won't we?
This is an orphanage. Of course we'll leave one day. By the time we turn 12.
We'll be harvesting some of the high-grade stock soon enough.
We were brought here as babies. We're the only family we know.
We've never been outside. That's because we haven't left here since being born. This place is a farm. We're all just food. The delicious food, the white clothes that show when we're dirty, our regulated lives.
It's valuable merchandise. Definitely not something we are meant to enjoy.
All of it is to keep up our quality of life as merchandise.
Once we reach the age of 12, it seems we get shipped out no matter what. The next shipment should be at least 2 months from now. Which means you and I need to come up with a way for all of us to escape from here before then.
The time for you to be shipped has come.
So the next shipment is finally me, huh?
It's our brains. The brain must taste the best, and the more developed it is, the better.
There's a place we're getting shipped to. The fact that there's a farm and a buyer should give you an idea. What waits outside is a demon's world.
Let us celebrate the coming harvest.
These 3 with full marks are to be prepared for plucking.
Yes, sir, I understand. Well then, I think it's about time to begin.
So Mom is our enemy. It's not a watch. It's a tracker. We have a chip inside us.
That kind of technology wouldn't exist in 2015.
This is the first time we've talked without any of us acting.
I'm thinking of setting up a second shop in the Beastars world next. I think in a world where animals are the dominant species and herbivores and carnivores must live in peace together, I think introducing meat from other worlds would be very profitable. After all, the Beastars world has the black market, a place where carnivores can satiate their carnivore nature and be themselves, as opposed to the outside world where carnivores must ignore their carnivore nature. Unfortunately, a student of Charrington Academy wasn't able to do so, and devoured one of their classmates, which doesn't sound like the usual start to a love story, but through the death of Tem, Legoshi and Haru met, and we get to watch this awkward wolf try to navigate the world of love while being a carnivore who fell in love with a herbivore.
At this boarding school, the rules state that all students are required to eat their meals in the cafeteria. As a matter of fact, even outside of school, the shops will never serve meat to anyone.
This is the black market.
Naturally, eating meat of any kind at school would be considered a serious crime.
Black market meat is secretly provided by hospitals, sometimes funeral homes. So it may not be legal, but at least you're not killing the animal yourself.
I'm sure you all know by now. Something terrible happened here at school this morning.
Tem the alpaca was attacked and murdered by a carnivore.
You would really eat your classmate?
It was someone from this school. It's considered this world's ultimate taboo.
That's why the black market exists.
Carnivores are all monsters, every one of you!
Ever since that night, everything about me changed. I need to pretend. You have struggled your entire life. You've suppressed your feelings ever since you were a kid. Truth is, ever since I met this girl rabbit, I've been so confused.
This wolf is probably a really good guy, and I want to be friends with him.
Since when did you and Louis get to be so close?
Hey, where's number 4? I don't see him anywhere. Wait, don't tell me you lost him. Where's number 4? Give him to me!
So, are you two good friends? You and Haru.
Beastar. Every animal knows that title. The one with the status of hero, whose shoulder is uniting the whole school and looks beyond the discrimination and fears of the world.
You will beg! Now! Real loud!
And along the way witness beautiful cinematography and symbolic narrative, which unsurprisingly to everyone is why I consider it one of my favourite animes of all time, and the anime of the year for 2019, because I love this anime. I really do think it's one of the greatest pieces of animation in anime genre. Thank you, Studio Orange, for putting the time in that this series needed. Plus, we're getting the final season part 2 in 2026. Let's fucking go! Moving away from animal love, I should have thought of that before I said that.
And I'd know if my goat was in love with you.
Human love is often far simpler. Often, though. Except in the case of Kagura Love is War, a series about two students who are both madly in love with each other, and both of them know it, but neither of them are willing to admit it due to their pride and ego. So they keep creating complex and ridiculous situations in the attempt to get the other one to confess first. In the vast majority of cases, battles are fought with their fists, or at the very least, violence or force. However, Kagura Love is War is a battle of the mind, a mental fight where neither side is willing to intentionally waver, and where one small mistake could lead to a domino effect where the mental battle is lost and it's the end of the world! Or at least that's how it would feel to a pubescent mind flooded with hormones. Then again, if all of humanity is turned to stone for nearly 4 millennia, and it's up to a teenager to restore humanity back to where it once stood before the clap, where the only tools they have is their brain, one slip up in a mental battle where the foe is using actual force really could lead to the end of the world.
I think it's time I told you everything about what happened 3,700 years ago.
What's that weird light?
On that day, every man, woman, and child on Earth instantly turned to stone.
How many decades has it been? Centuries? Millennia?
I've been frozen for 117,354,889,550 seconds. Am I the first human they've seen?
Humans aren't at the top of the food chain anymore!
Doesn't look like civilization survived. Just realized I never introduced myself. This is a whole new world. And from the looks of things, I might be the first shiny monkey to be born in it. I'm the only one of my kind still walking this world. I'm a human being.
I'm finally free!
Well, look who's finally awake.
So, like, everyone went through all that too? How long have we been like this?
It's October 5th in the year 5738. If I'm gonna rebuild civilization, I'll need a muscly meathead to do the grunt work. In other words, I've been waiting for you, Taiju. We may be a couple of high school kids, but we're gonna rebuild civilization from the ground up. It took humanity over 2 million years to crawl out of the Stone Age to the modern age. We need to do that in a sprint. My forebears had the technology to reach space. I intend to build a technological civilization from scratch. And this is where it all starts. It's not that there are things science can't explain. Not in the least. There are rules behind everything that happens. Science is just the name for the steady, pain-in-the-ass effort that goes into finding out what they are. Why, after 3,700 years, did we break free from our petrified condition? It seems that once someone has died, reviving them is not an option. Though that would be amazing, it's just cracks filling in. Another part of the depetrification process. I mean, we're still alive, even with these cracks in our faces. Who petrified humanity? What force was behind the attack? But was it even an attack at all? Through science, I'll figure out what happened to us, and how we broke free.
Are you planning to bring back all the greedy, black-hearted adults who ruined the world we came from?
He wants to remake this world into a place where only the strong survive.
We live in the stone world now. A paradise that hasn't been ruined by greed.
Tsukasa's planning on using the miracle fluid to build an army of the young and able-bodied.
And make sure that we keep this world natural and not owned by anyone. This is our chance to purify humanity.
He'll create a brutal world ruled by the strongest, with him at the top of it all. Kohaku and the others don't appear to have any knowledge of modern technology. So I'll bet that means they're descendants of people who revived a long time ago.
Fortunately for us, Senku of Dr. Stone isn't just any teenager. He is one of the smartest minds on Earth. And when he mysteriously awoke 3,700 years after being turned to stone along with all of humanity, he was able to use his mind to begin the long journey to rebuild society back from the Stone Age all the way to the modern age. And in order to do that, you of course need someone who understands how to do that. But you also need someone to do the labour force, those strong enough to do the heavy lifting. Fortunately for Senku, he has his best friend Taiju. Senku has an inhuman level of intelligence, whereas Taiju has an inhuman level of strength, which is something you can't just get from living your everyday life. You need to hit the gym, you need to work out, you gotta lift those weights, and you gotta know how heavy are the dumbbells you lift. Working out can be boring, it can feel like a chore, and it can feel like you don't know what you're doing. And who wants to admit that? Who wants to admit they don't know something? Fortunately for you, there is a series out there that can teach you a wide range of different exercises to do at the gym, what they train, and how to do them in the correct form. Unfortunately, it's only 12 episodes long, and really jumps around in the story. But you can read the much longer manga version that has much more information in it, and is a great form of edutainment content. While we're on the subject of edutainment, you know what else anime can teach you? That you have no enemies. Okay, yeah, it's from season 2. But as soon as I said the quote, you all knew I was talking about Vinland Saga. And perhaps Vinland Saga isn't exactly edutainment, unless you see such a series or event as entertaining. But what kind of person would want to see misery and misfortune portrayed on TV to witness and enjoy? Surely you wouldn't find joy in watching a young boy being forced to watch his father be murdered in front of him, and then allowing such hatred to fester and grow inside him from such an experience, stripping him of his innocence and watching as revenge envelops his entire life, leaving his mother, sister, and entire life behind, doing whatever it takes to get vengeance for his father's life that was cut short by killing the man who took it. In doing so, turning to working for such a man and killing others on his command, solely to stay close enough to him to be able to take a chance at a lethal strike. What sort of person would enjoy watching someone go through such a miserable series of events?
I wouldn't call it pleasure. I just find it interesting.
Well, this is awkward. Why not escape it by clicking on this video to hear about my Anime of the Year 2020?